So I wasn't really sure what to talk about. I didn't really prepare anything. I couldn't because a week ago I found out that my tumour needed to come out, and inconveniently in my wrist. So I was like, oh shit, I've got this thing to do and I don't really know what to talk about. So I just thought that I would just talk about my story as a graphic design agency, but feel free to, you know, jump in and ask me anything or prompt me, because I do go off on a tangent. So I'm the brand commander of Plug design agency. I renamed it actually to Plug Operation Design, and because I always feel that we're in a battlefield of, you know, with brands and with competition, and as you know, we're going through a very tough economy at the moment, a recession. Anyways, this isn't being filmed, it was fine, they'll edit that out. And, you know, and it is a battlefield, and I am, you know, my title at work is I'm the brand commander. There was a very flattering picture James was posting of me in the run up to this. It doesn't look like that today. I've also just taken my medication, so I'm a bit floaty at the moment. But so I do feel that there is this kind of urgency to design and conquer. And I work with lots of small brands. I work with some very nice companies, some slightly irritating clients as well. Creativity is, and being creative is, and there's a green piece of paper on the chair. It says about being brave. And I've started to realize after 12 years of running my business that, yeah, being creative is actually quite hard out here. And if I had $1 for every client who says we want to be different, we want to stand out, we want to do this, oh God, I'd be rich. But the truth is they don't really mean it, because being different, being alternative, standing out from your audience, most people go, oh no, shit, no, I didn't mean that. I don't actually want to be different, because then maybe my credibility will be questioned. I still, after 12 years, I have a great portfolio of work, I have a great client base, and even still with the things I put out, when I gave my calendar to someone, they went, oh, but do you ever worry people won't take you seriously? And I was like, I'm fucking supposed to be creative. This is creative. So I find myself in a very frustrated industry. I find it quite frustrating that people don't really understand the value of creative and what it can really do for your business. If I'm talking bollocks, please put your hand up and tell me, because like I say, there's been no preparation for this morning. I just thought I'd just run with it and give it a go and soldier on with my little arm. Yeah, one thing I do want to mention is that this week, after my surgery, the tumour that they took out of my arm was actually in a little glass bowl next to my bed. So I took a picture of it and started sending it to my clients, because, yeah, and I thought, oh, I wonder what that would taste like. Anyway, bit weird, as I said. No preparation went into this morning. So I've been running my creative agency for 12 years, and as I said, I work with lots of different clients. James, you might need to help me out, because I will start just going off.
I want to know,
yeah,
how this whole idea for your newslettering and with your clients,
yeah,
and that becomes a really big piece of what you do.
So basically, I think for any brand in any industry, I think for any business, you need an identity. You need something that sets you apart, not your boring mission statement, your values. Nobody reads that. It's just irrelevant. And for myself, it would have been ideal to have a deck prepared, no time. I kind of went down this kind of vintage retro feel with mine. I call myself the brand commander. It's got a very 1940s feel to it. And even now, I met somebody years ago who contacted me last year, and I was like, oh, wow, I don't actually remember you. She goes, no, but I remember your card. And it was, oh my God, 5 years. I mean, what's she doing holding on to a card for 5 years anyway? But I get that a lot. People recognize the brand, they recognize that not many people would sort of have their pictures on their business cards wearing a military hat with stars, which is what's on my latest one, 2 stars. Not quite earned the 3rd, but and it is quite bold to make yourself the face of your brand. It's a very bold thing. And then I start calling in clients to partake in my calendars, and I never tell them what this is about. And I wanted to create a murder mystery, and it's all about a bad designer that gets murdered, which is a good thing because his work was rubbish. And so the thread of the story, and I didn't bring any more, I couldn't simply carry them because I literally have come with a bag of medication and my Emirates ID card, weirdly. Because everywhere you go, they want your ID, don't you? Bugger off. So I get people to partake in my calendars, and as I said, I never tell them what I want to. I do this every year, a little fun photo shoot, and it's always post-war era. But I bring in my modern problem, which is design agencies, creatives, and I thread them into a story of murder mystery. So at the end of this, I'll tell you, he's killed because he's a crap designer, and I realise that we need to get rid of them. And we really do. And people say to me, oh, you have a lot of competition in your industry. I have a lot of people in Dubai. If you think I'm being outspoken, just say, but there's a lot of people doing what I do. Yes, there's a lot of people doing what I do with no trade licenses, freelancing much, much cheaper. Yes. But are they really creative? No, they're just hand operators. Oh, this is how a Mac works. That's artwork. Okay. I know I'm so awful. No. My IT department can knock up an ad campaign, really. But yeah, that's what I'm up against. But are there many creative agencies where people actually want to put ideas across the table? I don't think so, unless you go to your big agencies. So that's what I think is my little value add. So I create these stories, and I always say to clients when I meet them, it's about finding your brand story. I've created mine, I like mine. But it's about creating your brand story, because people buy into brands, they buy into people. They don't buy you for your mission statement or really your product. They really buy what makes people tick. I'm always amazed when people have their own businesses, and I run a community called Macropolis for small businesses. And I'm always amazed at how business owners never want to sort of really put themselves in the brand and really sort of, stand, for what they stand for and speak about that. And oh no, I wouldn't want to go on my own website. No, and it becomes very kind of dull. It's a very kind of dull kind of brand. I buy people on people. I choose people. And I work with fun people. There's not many in Dubai. They're not. They're hiding. Sorry. Preparation, Lucy. You should have prepared.
So this calendar's pretty edgy.
Oh, he is. Like my little Nazi on the back. It is. Yeah, you wouldn't think with my performance this morning that I created this. Yes, please.
Question, Lucy.
Yeah, please.
What kind of challenges did you face from the last 12 years?
Yeah.
In terms of even technological revolution and up to what point? I mean, like websites and the internet has had an impact on your creative work.
For the record, I actually hate designing websites because they just never get finished. They don't, they're a pain in the arse, but Google says. Yeah, I mean, you've got me at a really bad time in my life at the moment because I'm really quite annoyed for a lot of reasons. I find things are getting very tight in the pace we're in. I find we're being a bit stifled. I find, you know, there's lots of hurdles. I mean, when I started 12 years ago, out of my bedroom, and I'd have clients visit me in my home, and that was fine. And I kind of didn't really have a license, and life was really easy then. And people go, "Oh yeah, I'll work with you." Yeah, I don't have a license. Don't need a license. It was great. Life was so much easier. But now it's so overly regulated. Am I allowed to say all this?
Yes.
There's a lady here looking at me funny, and it's really hard. It's you know, I find people are really leaving now. I think it's becoming hard. We need the good times back. We need, yeah, and I find it really has an impact on our industry, because now you're just thinking, oh shit, I've got to get the job in, I've got to get it finished. Oh, who cares about what it looks like at the end? You know, normally I'd be really objective with people and say, no, I think you're making a bad decision here. I really prefer, I prefer that our strongest idea is the right idea, but now I go, no, bugger it, just get the money, because I've got a license to pay for. But yeah, you find that now, and you're hurrying people along to make decisions, and I'm just going to put them down. Yeah, I find it is becoming quite tough, but but then I'm saying that I've had a good start to the year apart from this. But I do find there is a lot of promise this year, that there seems to be a lot of talk going on. I'm starting a new campaign about bring back the creativity. Can I tell you something? I'm going off on one now. You knew this would happen. Do you know what I'm really fed up with? I am fed up with all these buildings in Dubai that have a tailor, a pharmacy, a shitty supermarket. And it's like, we don't need all of these. And I just think, where is the creativity? There's just so much crap out here. Is this what you wanted, James? I'd rather be honest. I'd rather say what's coming out, not the proper. Yeah, and it's like, that there is a lot of creativity here. I think there is. There's a lot of people, but I think it's very hard because there's too many tailors and too many same old businesses. Like when we did our little exercise out there, I was following the lady doing what she was doing, because I just thought that's what we kind of do out here. We just copy everyone else. So I just mirrored what she was doing.
Could you tell me what exactly you do in terms of, I understand you do
apart from talking rubbish, I do branding, I do a lot of marketing. I mean, one of my success stories I'd like to talk about is Sensasia Spa. I worked with them 10 years ago, and I dropped a flyer. Yeah, please take it. If anyone else, you can all share it. But if you give me your details, I'll send you all one. I've got 250 to get rid of. But no, Sensasia was a standalone spa, and I dropped a flyer in, and again, it was before I had a license. And when you could do a visa run every 2 months, and you could go to Jebel Ali. Do you remember when you could go to Hatta Fort, go in for lunch, the policeman would watch your car, and he'd want your phone number, but that was for personal reasons. You know, he'd check under the bonnet. There's no terrorists there. And you could say, yeah, I just work. And you go, oh, really? And it didn't matter that you didn't have all this thing. But now, where's your TRN number? Anyway, very irritating. I shouldn't be saying this. There will be someone waiting for me. Sorry, where are we going? Marketing, Sensasia. So they were a standalone spa. I dropped a flyer in, and I was like, yeah, I could do your marketing and design, and they are a real success story for us because they've expanded. They're also now franchising, and it's a 10-year account that I've clung on to. I'm not really sure how, because she doesn't always get a great deal of sense out of me, but I do have a great team that make up for it. And one of the things that and last year, terrible year, because we're in a, and they did fantastic. And it is because what the shampoo ads say, rinse and repeat. So we talked about newsletters earlier. They send out to their database. They work with their database. They are constantly marketing. Don't assume out here, just for one moment, that people know what you do. My mum doesn't know what I do for a living. And she was out in October and I said, do you actually know what I do for a living? She goes, oh, it's on the internet. No, some topless pictures of me that an ex-boyfriend took, they're floating around on the internet. But no, she doesn't know what I do. Don't assume your customers, your client base, know what you do. You have to keep telling them. Again, rinse and repeat. So Sensasia, great success story. They've expanded, they do year on year, they do really well. My fee doesn't, no, I ask, no, Lucy. But they market, they do social media, they do newsletters, they do flyers, they send stuff, and they are in their customers' faces. And as soon as the sale goes on, because I'm one of their customers, as soon as I get the text and then I get the Instagram, I call them up and book it because it's 50% off. They're like, oh, you've just got our newsletter. Yes, I have. Yes.
So
yes.
do you do all of that?
So I do all of that. So I write the campaign. We plan Christmas in August. So already in August, we're thinking about Christmas, how it's going to look, how it's going to be delivered, and how, basically the mechanics of how it's going to work. It would be great to have some visuals, wouldn't it? But there isn't any. But then by September, October, we're rolling it out. We deliver. And all it is a simple message. Spas, facials, we deliver. Vouchers, buy them for mum, brother, husband, loved one, school teacher. And then you buy the vouchers. And you think that's quite a simple message, but it goes on and on and on through the months of October, November, December. And then we have our dead month, as we call it. At the end of December, it's like, I think it's the 27th of December to the 5th of January, there's that dead week. And the goal is to fill it with the bookings. And they fill it. And it's all about consistency. And people, I met someone last week, not the most dynamic person, definitely not a good fit for us because they're not accountants, no offense. And they said, we did a newsletter, it didn't work. I said, how many times did you do it? We did it once. It's not enough. I've been sending my newsletters out about stories, about any old crap I talk about, but I do it every single month. And then I post them on social media, and then I send them out stuff. I send flyers, I send calendars to keep reminding my message. And it's so important. I think some people think out, running a business. I had a client that said, we're only focused on Instagram. And I said, well, what about your database? What about your shop window? What about sending stuff to your... She goes, oh yeah, we have a great database. But half of them are left. I said, but how would you know that? How would you know who's on your database? The best way to do it is start sending and clean it. No, we're only focusing on Instagram. So they post these pathetic pictures, I wouldn't name names, of inspiration. I thought, well, how is that going to drive sales? And people do, they think Facebook and Instagram is the answer now. And you've really got to attack, I think, from every single angle. Otherwise, if I just run plug, on Instagram, it just seems so silly that people think, I don't know, maybe I'm too old, I'm 43. Was it your 43rd one today? Is it because of my age? But yeah, I do find that. I find a lot of retailers, they only want to focus on one thing. And like I say, data is so valuable out here. Your customers, it is easier, everyone should know this, it is easy to sell to the client you've got, to upsell, but nobody seems to do that. So I started a little campaign to talk to all my old clients just to say I've got a tumour. just checking in. And you'd be amazed at how many of them said, oh, actually, yeah, I'm glad you got in touch. We've been thinking about doing this. We've been thinking about sending out something. We want to do something creative. Yeah, do you want to?
Only use one format, not the other. But you keep pushing the envelope. How do you inspire yourself?
I travel a bit. I travel. Well, I don't travel a bit. I'm actually having a really super hot relationship at the moment with a French guy, and I kind of changed my life about 1.5 years ago. I ended my marriage and decided to go on. And and I met the love of my life. And where are we going with that? Don't know. But there's a lot of passion there.
Inspiration.
Yeah, inspiration.
So we need to do that. Okay,
Yeah. No, have lots of sex, because that really, with anyone. Where's that? We need that box, that inappropriate box. But no, I get very inspired by listening to people. I really enjoy talking to people, and I really just enjoy, having a laugh with people and listening, and it is all around. When you said surreal, I wasn't really sure what surreal meant. I haven't heard that word since maybe 2004. Surreal. I didn't really know what it meant. But I moved recently to TCOM, which was another reason why I agreed to do this, because I thought I could walk. And I thought, oh, great, TCOM. Because I think TCOM needs creativity. And when I moved here, my friend goes, oh, why are you moving to TCOM? I said, no, they need me. Because I really want to clean up all the prostitution cards, because they're awful. No, they're awful. There's one that's doing the rounds, and I gave it to James earlier, and he said, thanks, because I lost her number. And she's got this brown thing on here, and and it's just, and I want to sort it out. And I'm actually deciding I'm going to do my own flyer and start putting them out to talk to professionals about design, and just see how many phone calls I get. But I can't massage very well. But I really hate these cards, so I really want to clean up TCOM. And if they're tasteful cards, then I haven't got a problem with it. But and the poses as well, they're just not right. So
do you get worried? You're so provocative sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you ever get worried, or do you ever get feedback that makes you question yourself and say, oh, maybe I need to tame down a little bit, or?
Yeah. I've only been arrested once in 14 years that I've been here, but no further charges were brought upon. But no, seriously, I was arrested a long time ago. Before my design days, I was sat on a wall. I can tell people this, can't I? But no, I was seriously arrested out here. I think it was in 2004. And I was sat on a wall with two gentlemen, not what you think, and really innocent. And I went to do my shoelace up, and I had both arms at the time, and it was like that, and I was kind of sitting on him like this. And the police car went by once, and I went, and my friend goes, I think you should just move. I said, well, I'm trying to do my lace up. And he goes, no, I think you should just move. And we were instantly arrested. And he, ID, and I went, what? And I went, driving license, and I didn't have a visa at the time. So I gave him my British driving license, and they took it, and they said, oh, could you go to the Ports Police? Worst food ever in that police station. No, seriously, worst food ever. And I turned up, and I said, I'd like to know why I'm being arrested. And they said, well, we will put you in a cell, but we won't lock it. But you are being arrested because you have offended us. And I couldn't really make sense of that. And it was all because I was bending over. And 8 hours later, because they asked me to reenact it, and so I said, well, what happened is I had some sand on my shoe, and I was bent over, and he said, but you sat on his lap. I said, yeah, because the wall was cold. Anyway, but I don't really know why I'm telling you this, but yeah, so after...
You do your newsletters, as you do these calendars, your calendar
Yeah.
is a little provocative.
Yeah. Anyway, they were so fed up with my attitude. They just said, "I think you should just go and be careful where you sit next time." But it was that was a very surreal moment. But getting back on track, we'll edit that bit out. But getting back on track is, yeah, I do have a lot of resistance. You know, people do go, and more about being taken seriously as a designer, as a creative. I get a lot of that when people think because your picture's on your business card that it looks really fun. I should have bought some business cards, too heavy to carry. Because you're not following, I guess, that corporate line, you couldn't possibly. I remember meeting somebody worked in financial services. It was actually a product that I actually have. It's doing crap at the moment in the investment market. She was like, "Well, we're quite a serious business, you know, so I don't know if we would be a good fit." And I said, "Well, we're a serious business as well. You know, we have to make this work. My job here is to make the creative work. So it's not about creating anything that comes into our head just for the fun of it. It is you have a problem. The pain is you need people to understand what you're doing. Your objective is you need more customers. Say for my spa, we need more people booking the spa, buying the vouchers. They did. They made thousands, hundreds of thousands. So that was a success. So that's what you're doing is you're answering the brief and solving that problem. A lot of what I do is solving that problem. So, but where was I going with that? Because that sounded. But you know, yeah. So a lot of it really is quite surreal that people go to a creative agency and then question the creative agency, because I wanted to call myself a detective agency.
And that's how you started. You branded yourself.
Yeah. And I wanted to be a detective agency, sniffing out the bad designers and kind of, because I've got no time for them. And I can't stand them. And most of them have day jobs as well. They normally work in like Sharaf, but I can't understand why I get a lot of repair jobs coming in where they go, my last graphic designer, it took him 6 months to change the numbers on my website. But really they're outsourcing it. You have to be very careful. And my word of advice is if you are working with a design agency, ask to meet the designer. No, don't play Chinese whispers. No offense to any Chinese people in here. But don't play Chinese whispers going off. So I give you the brief, the feedback to the person in the middle, and then it goes to the designer. You must insist on meeting the designer. Because then how on earth are you ever going to get this right? It baffles me when people go, that it's been outsourced to. And I just don't understand that, because there's so many good agencies out here, obviously there's us, who would probably charge a little bit more, but at least you'd get you'd get the job done. You wouldn't take you 6 months. I literally had somebody who said this has taken us 6 months to change a profile picture and this and that, and it's taken them 6 months. And she goes, and this person doesn't even work for us. They actually passed away. He was quite old. But my point being is 6 months. So that's really what I'm up against is those evil outsourcers that they masquerade. They pretend to be the design agency. They pretend to be the designer, but they're really not. It's a really big problem in our industry. Oh, great. Thanks. Please stop me anytime, because I will just talk. No, anytime.
I want to say if you've got as Lucy is talking, we're getting near the end of her talk. If you've got something you want to fire in, throw it in.
Please do, because I'll just talk rubbish.
Sorry, I had too much water.
Yeah. Oh, you went to the loo?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No disrespect, but I just couldn't hold.
Yeah. But all okay now?
Business, yeah.
I think I've met you before.
We may have.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
I think you've been to one of my events. Yeah. Tell me about your new business. Yeah.
Yes, it's. You mentioned bad designers. Bad designers are cheap.
Yes.
As a startup, you have next to zero budget. Limited budget means zero budget. You want everything to be done for free.
Yeah.
Until you stand on your feet.
Oh, I love people like that. I love those. Yeah, we're a startup, but we will. Yeah, we'll remember you. We'll carry you. We can grow to. No, piss off.
I think a lot of us go to bad designers or average designers.
Yes.
We don't know who is good, who is bad. For our designers or creative designers, and they do the job. So this is how my brain thinks, because I'm not creative. I just know how to build businesses. So then I go to them and I presume that they would do a great job at a very reasonable price.
Yeah.
But then there are people like yourself who are experts and you know exactly what to do. But if do you have competitive prices supposed to these?
Yeah. My policy is I would never quote down the phone. I would never send a quotation to somebody who I didn't know. I always try and meet them first, because I'm trying to gauge, what we're really trying to gauge is how much of a pain you're going to be. That's what you're really trying to gauge, and decision making as well. So who will be deciding this? So if you're working one-on-one with somebody, you can get it done quite quickly. If you're working with an organisation that's got a lot of decision making, then there's going to be a lot of toing and froing and things like that. But yeah, I do tailor it depending on who they are and sort of size of the business, requirements, how many rounds I think it's going to take. But the other thing is that I was going to say was...
community, you mentioned the startup community.
Yeah, I've got my community, they're great.
So what do you do for that?
No, I'm trying to answer my question. See, I took a lot of medication this morning. Oh no, I've lost my train of thought. Oh no, this is awkward. This will also be edited out. But yeah, my point being is go into a cheap one, just get a logo just for the sake of it, get a brand. I just think about your infrastructure, because that's got to sell you. And if you're going out there with a crappy brand, like what my friend Michelle's going out with at the moment, but she's coming in on Thursday so we can sort it out. And it's like, she sent me this awful flyer, and she said, I know, but and I went, but Michelle, it just looks crap. And she's really good at what she does. She's very outspoken. She's very good at sales. She can help you close business. It's all about sales development, closing business, but the flyer was just awful, and this horrible map. And the logo kind of looks like a vagina. And I just said, but no wonder you can't fill seats. So she went down the cheap route. And I would rather spend my money on my marketing, I think, than my clothes, quite frankly. I think it's all about priorities in answer to your question. I get that, but I don't see the point of paying somebody a few hundred dirhams to get it repaired later on, because you pay once. What's that expression? Pay once, pay twice?
Buy cheap, buy twice.
That's it. Good one. Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm glad you came. But yeah, I don't see the point of that, because you're going to have to pay again.
Yes.
And also, I think of damage. I think of the damage that's doing. So I didn't go to her workshop, and she said, can you forward it on to people? I went, no, it looks awful. No, honestly, I can show you on my phone. It looks awful. And I said, that's your front window. So I know it's hard, but I guess it's priorities. Designer handbag or my brand. But I had a meeting. Yeah, this is amazing. I had a meeting with someone because I love what you're proposing. This is totally what I should be doing. And she said, but I couldn't afford your services. But do you want a lift to the office? And I went, yeah, no problem. She was driving a top of the range Porsche Cayenne. But she couldn't. But
maybe it's a gift.
I get the bus to work. Huh?
Maybe it's the French boyfriend with the car.
No, I know her husband. Her husband's a client of mine. But no, I mean, but I find that all the time. The ones that don't have the budget. I met a lady, in order to get her website done with me, she sold her bicycle. Yeah, she goes, oh, we had to get rid of things, sacrifices. I sold my car. I had a very nice, sexy convertible, leather seats. When I started Plug, but seriously, it was the business or it was the car. So I got rid of the car, I got married, used his instead, I still do. Ex-husband, very good friendly terms, lives just over there. And I made a lot of sacrifices, and I find out here, business owners, oh yeah, back to my community. Yes. I find business owners, is anyone a business owner out here? Yeah, I find they're their own worst enemies. You know, because a lot of business owners that are in my community, some of them are adorable, but I find a lot of business owners don't have their priorities right. I had a very tough year last year for lots of reasons. I had a lot of tough year with clients paying me on time. And some months you take a hit. You literally take a hit. What wins? Do you carry on paying the staff or do I pay myself? You as a business owner, you take a hit. So I'm in my 12th year and I still worry about people who haven't paid me. There's no one in the room here that owes me money. So that's good. But there's a lot of people out there that owe me money. And I see them on Facebook going out for dinner. So I write to them and go, very nice. Don't forget there's an invoice. No, call them out on it. We don't live off gold plates. I take the bus to work. It's 84, it goes around T-Com. It's very nice. But they're a bit manic, so I can't go on with my arms, so I'm having to use the metro. But yeah, as a small business owner starting out, if anyone's on that journey starting out, it's all about sacrifice and priorities. But yeah, definitely don't go and meet a creative person in your Porsche Cayenne and go, I can't afford your fees. You could go to a cash point to pay me. I don't charge a great deal of money. I work on either hourly, half-day rate, full-day rate, and then I calculate it by days, to how much pain I think you're going to cause me in terms of, but I don't understand a mood board. But yeah, don't, and also the other thing, the other advice is don't underestimate if you're ever presenting mood boards to people. Get in front of those people as much as possible. Your client, don't email stuff until you're really comfortable with them, because you'll be amazed at how many people cannot interpret a mood board and what you're trying to tell them. Nothing is stronger than sitting with someone going, so my thoughts are for the, you should be doing this. We recommend this, and tell them how you're assembling things like logos and things. I've sent mood boards to people and they've rung me up and said, what was that? I don't understand. And she's intelligent, and she convinced me she would know what a mood board was. It was that shop. A mood board would be my interpretation of your brand. Yeah, so you'd look at types of imagery. So are we going to use photography in your brand? Are we going to use illustrations? Are we going to use colors, color palettes, strong, light colors, fonts? Yeah, fonts. Are we going to go uppercase, lowercase? It's all very exciting, and it's the beginnings. It's the beginning. Where's that thing? Space to hatch? No, it's not that. But it's the starting point of your brand. But don't underestimate. People can be very retarded, and they don't understand it because they've probably never gone through the process. Like my friend Michelle, lovely lady. She's not here today, but she doesn't know any better. That's why she got a brand done on 99 designs, and it looks every inch of that 99. No, actually, it cost her $4, and it looks every inch of that. It looks shit. It does. I don't have it on me, but I do have her flyer on me.
What do you offer to your community? Startup community.
So my community is Macropolis. That's what I'm going to... How much time have I got, James?
You got a little bit more.
Okay, so it's called Macropolis. So I started Macropolis in 2015 for small businesses because I felt there wasn't enough support for small businesses. So in terms of starting out, a lot of people don't have marketing budgets. A lot of people have spent it all on licenses and they don't have the budget, and there's not enough support for small businesses. Trust me, I've been out here long enough to know. So I started inviting business owners to a network to encourage people to support small businesses. So hence, I never have my events in hotels. Hotels are a nightmare to work with. Is this a hotel, right? Yeah. Yeah, they're a nightmare to work with. On average, they take 3 to 4 to 5 months to pay you. How the hell can you run a business like that? No names mentioning, Premier Inn. Yeah, I work with quite a few hotels. And I say, I have to get financing on your invoices. So it costs me money to work with them. So I thought, well, I'll carry on working with them because I just think, oh, maybe next Christmas we'll get it. We'll get it by 2020. And they go, oh, yeah, have they not paid you yet, Lucy? No, but you still want everything done in 2 hours. So yes, out of principle, I don't hold my events in hotels. I hold them in the studio. I hold them in cafes. And I used to hold them in cafes. So independent cafes, I'd contact them and say, hi, I've got about 60, 70 business owners who would like to come and have breakfast, and we network, a little talk. I would never talk for as long as I have today because I can't control what comes out of my mouth, but it's very much supporting small businesses, meet, network, what have you. And people actually do transact. People actually do meet people they want to do business with. They find suppliers. So this is great. But cafe owners, would you think in Dubai, because we have such an oversupply of cafes and restaurants, do you think they're interested in my audience? 60, 70 people coming for paid tea, coffee. Do you think they're interested? No, not interested. They go, oh, well, no, that's going to cost you, 5,000 dirhams, said the Rose Leaf Cafe. But yeah, they're not interested in servicing people like that. It baffles me. So I'm in a photographic studio in our cars every month. We have one next week on Wednesday the 25th.
Are they open?
Are they open?
I mean, open to everyone, to all business owners?
Yeah, I only want nice business owners.
I'm nice business.
Yeah, you know, I think you've been before though. We've definitely met somewhere before. We're having a surreal moment. But it is open to business owners. Don't send the business development people. It is purely for small, independent business owners. And I really think if we become, I've got to do my exercise on my hand. I really do think that one voice, one person whinging, I whinge a lot, is not enough. If you have a united voice of people whinging about the same thing, it becomes a cause. And then it becomes a movement and people go, oh, we have to be careful. And I was warned off Macropolis when I first started it. Somebody said, oh, you're wrong to start it. Wrong to start a group of independent business owners to shop from one another, to support one another, to become stronger. Therefore, they'll stay in business. The country needs commerce. Where's the problem here? But you'd be amazed that but people love to be very self-righteous out here. Oh, you have to be careful. You know, does that not piss you off? Yeah. Or is it just me? Oh, I said to my surgeon, what day is the surgery? Because I might have to get my boyfriend here because I hate needles, hate blood, hate hospitals, hate everything. And I said, oh, otherwise I get my ex-husband here. And then someone goes, you can't tell the surgeon you've got a boyfriend and a husband. And it's like, why? I'm not married. Anyway, but people love to create that sense of is it danger? They like to tell you off. What is that called? I don't know, but I'm sick of it. Like, I'm sick of giving my ID now to buildings. When you go into buildings and you have to give your ID, it's great because I can't write anything at the moment. But now I purposely leave my identity at home. So if I get run over, it'll take them a long time to work out who I am. I just put a post-it note there. But anyway, and where am I going? Business owners, Macropolis next week. I'm actually running a workshop about plug, God help them, coming in February, for talking about marketing plans, the rinse and repeat, which is why I always say to people, don't underestimate people not knowing what you do. As I said, my mum still doesn't know what I do.
Question.
Please.
I mean, surrealists, when they start painting, it's like a moment that they take the rational mind off so they can draw something that's out of this world, right?
Yeah.
So it's a process.
Yeah.
What would you say a surreal process for you? What would you indulge in and enjoy doing for a long time? And you lose track of time?
Oh, I'm probably working on my own brand that I enjoy. I think is the thing I most enjoy, because there are no boundaries with my own brand.
Does it mean writing your newsletter?
Yeah, writing like when I was writing my calendar and making up the characters of people, like there's, the antiques dealer who's selling artifacts that are stolen. And they're really respectful, honest, nice clients of mine. A lot of them are, some of them are friends of mine. And then I like to really kind of deconstruct their personalities, which is why I never tell people when I do a photo shoot that I did a photo shoot in the desert a few years ago when I had gangrene. So I was hospitalized. I got gangrene a few years back. Very exciting, in my breast, if you can believe that. And it's true, there's a scar, I can happily show you. And I was in the hospital because I had to go for daily cleaning while they were pulling all the stuff out of the wound. Anyway, and I came up with the idea for my radio station. I was going to have a radio station. We were doing radio, but he wasn't invited because of his bad shirts. And I wrote a World War II. So again, we're in our World War II because it's an era that I love. I love that period in time. And so I started writing about, it's a great calendar that I put out a few years back, and I'll just give you an overview because it could be quite dull without a visual. So I thought, we were in the desert, we'll pretend it's North Africa in World War II, and we'll get in people. So I also asked military friends who had military uniforms to come and be in our photo shoot, a bit like my calendar. And the story is that somebody gets gangrene, which was myself, and from there, there's no end to it. But then I realised we needed a tent for World War II. They lived in tents, so I contacted a production office in America, North Alabama, and I said, I'd like a World War II tent, and they went, oh yeah, and you want it sent where? I said, to Dubai. And they went, yeah, that's an interesting one. So I said, have you got a really old skanky one? They said, yeah, it's been on a film set. And it looked like one that had been in Valkyrie, maybe the same one, who knows. So I got this tent flown in, and of course I got stopped at customs. Morning. What is this old tent? I went, yeah, I'm going camping. And they went, oh, it's for commercial reasons, isn't it? And I went, no, it's not. It's a tent for... Sleeping in. We're going to put it in the garden. But they wanted to know it was for commercial reasons. And he said, what's with the poles? And I went, oh shit, they're a bit big. Not sure I'm going to get that in the car. Ex-husband's car, not mine because I sold it, remember? And I flew in a World War II tent, which cost me 7,500 dirhams. And it's languishing in Jumeirah. If anyone wants an old World War II tent, please let me know, because I still have one to get rid of. But yeah, and the other thing is I put a lot of time and effort into branding. We all had custom-made military uniforms. I got a thing about military uniforms. When I was young, I was a bit wild, lived near a military base, learnt a lot. Say what I like. He said I could. He said I could say what I wanted. But I can't tell you enough. You want to close that. The more you put into your brand, the more effort you put in. Oh, it pays in dividends. Like my picture that's on my business card, that's on my profile. We shot that in September, and it pays for itself. But out here, people don't want to pay for even a photo shoot. And it astounds me. And I'm like, but why do you want to look like everyone else? You know, there's nobody going around calling themselves the brand commander with little stars on the hat. Nobody calls themselves that. I wish it was here because it makes me look good. When I get older, I'll hire hot models. It'll be different. But it's to make yourself the face of the brand, because people buy people. And I think I'm done. I'm really thirsty.
Fantastic. Thank